Hello everyone, and welcome back to Times English Stories with English Radio. Today, let's explore the deep meaning of one of the most famous poems in English literature, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. This poem is not just about a sailor's sea journey, it's a spiritual story. A journey from sin to suffering, and from suffering to forgiveness. It teaches us that all living things, no matter how big or small, are connected by the same divine love. The story begins when the ancient mariner, an old sailor, stops a man on his way to a wedding and begins to tell him his story. He once went on a long sea voyage with his ship and crew. At first, everything was beautiful. The wind was strong, the ocean was calm, and their hearts were full of joy. But soon, a terrible storm pushed the ship into a land of ice and snow. In that frozen, silent world, a large white bird appeared, the albatross. The albatross was seen as a sign of hope and good luck. It flew around the ship, and after it came, the ice began to break and the wind returned. The sailors believed the bird had saved them, but one day, for no clear reason, the mariner shot the bird dead. He didn't know why he did it. It was a moment of carelessness, pride, and cruelty. This act of killing something pure and innocent becomes the great sin of the story. At first, the other sailors blame him. They say, "You have killed the bird that brought the breeze." But later, when the fog disappears, they change their minds and say, "Maybe it was right." However, very soon, nature turns against them. The wind stops, the ship stops moving, and the sailors are trapped under the burning Sunday. They are surrounded by water, but they cannot drink it. They are dying of thirst, and they realize that they are being punished for the mariner's sin. To remind him of what he did, they hang the dead albatross around his neck. It becomes a symbol of his guilt and shame, a heavy burden he must carry. Days pass. The crew dies one by one, and the mariner is left completely alone on the silent sea. He tries to pray, but he cannot. His heart is full of guilt and emptiness. He is surrounded by death, and he believes he will never be forgiven. But one night, under the light of the moon, he looks at the sea creatures moving gracefully in the water. They shine beautifully alive, free, and peaceful. For the first time, the mariner feels love for them. He no longer sees them as ugly or strange. He sees them as beautiful and living beings created by God. At that very moment, his heart changes. He blesses them in his heart, and suddenly, the curse begins to lift. The albatross falls from his neck and sinks into the sea. It is a powerful symbol showing that forgiveness comes when love is born in the heart. After this, the mariner's ship is guided home by good spirits. He meets a holy man, confesses his sin, and feels peace for the first time. But his punishment is not over. He is now condemned to travel from place to place, telling his story to others, teaching them what he has learned. He must share his lesson again and again, that love and respect for all living things is the key to salvation. The central message of this poem is timeless. It tells us that when we hurt nature, when we act without kindness, we disturb the balance of life. But when we love and respect every living creature, humans, animals, birds, and even the smallest insect, we find peace and connection with God. The poem reminds us that every life is sacred. Coleridge expresses this truth beautifully in the final lines. He prayeth well, who loveth well, both man and bird and beast. He prayeth best, who loveth best, all things both great and small. For the dear God who loveth us, He made and loveth all. These lines mean that true prayer is not only in words, it is in love. If we truly love every part of creation, we are close to God. So, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner is not just a sea story. It is a message about the relationship between humans and nature. It tells us that guilt can be washed away by love, and that forgiveness comes through understanding and respect. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this explanation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And tell me in the comments, what do you think this poem teaches us about life and nature?